Brandon Aiyuk, not in the Cabo clique. Good player, due for an extension, probably could get $20+ million a year. The Niners just let Mike McGlinchey go because they said they didn't want to spend big on 2 offensive tackles. Well, Ayuk's going to get more money than Mike McGlinchey, and they already are spending big time on Deebo Samuel. Do you think the Niners are prepared to spend big time on 2 wide receivers in the future? Or are they going to ride this out with Brandon Aiyuk on his rookie deal and trade him?
Yeah, I think if they were to let Brandon Aiyuk go via the trade or free agency, I think they'd actually believe that they hated to lose Aiyuk and not Mike McGlinchey. You caught that little nugget? We hated to lose Mike McGlinchey. And it's like, okay, Kyle.
No, when they say that, it's like, we really don't care. Colton McKivitz is the same guy.
But did you notice that's the philosophy they said too? It's like that's not what we believe in. That we got to take away people that touch the ball, put rush pressure. I was like, okay, wow. So that's why you got Brock Purdy here. You're not a big investor in offensive line, okay? Anyway.
Right, that's what he said, right? So if we're gonna have 2 high-priced offensive tackles, that means you got to take away someone who touches the ball or sacks the quarterback. That tells you right there his philosophy. Sacking the quarterback is more important than protecting the quarterback, apparently, which really tells you everything about the 49ers.
We don't believe in it. That's what he said, bar for bar. That's literally what he said.
Yeah, bar for bar, word for word. It is the Niners' responsibility to build a team that can sack the quarterback, but in terms of protecting the quarterback, buddy, you're on your own. That is your job.
I saw that. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a quote, Kyle. Anyways, is it trade in the future? I don't think they better not. If you're going to choose between 2 wide receivers, it better be Aiyuk because his game's more sustainable.
I think they want to bring back Aiyuk. I think they knew I don't think they wanted to bring back McGlinchey. I think they were like being nice. Bud, you're so expensive. You're so good. We can't afford you. They were like, dude, Colton McKivitz could do his job for like $1 million. Let's get rid of him. But with Aiyuk, I think they want him, but at their price. And there's going to be like some serious haggling because you already see he's posturing, $1K on a team as a 4th option and run first. They're going to be like, dude, no Pro Bowls. Like, we're not giving you $20 million a year. It's good. It could get a little awkward, but we'll see what happens. Maybe he balls out this year and goes to the Pro Bowl.
Well,
maybe he goes all pro.
Really figure out an extension until after the season. So, and given the way his trajectory is going, I'd bet his numbers slightly improve. But then again, it's like, who's playing quarterback? How's that going to look? But I don't know. He did fine when throughout the quarterback shuffle last year. So I could see his numbers tiptoeing higher.
But Kyle controls that, right? Like, he can only do so much. You got to call his number. And I mean, like, the thing with Aiyuk is they never go to him in critical moments. He doesn't have a signature play in his career other than, hurdling that defender in a game that didn't matter. And that's not his fault. It's not like they go to him when it matters and he drops the ball. It's just Kyle goes to other guys.
Yeah, his best game was against the Raiders, and then Kyle kind of poo-pooed.
Yeah. On those gotta have it plays is Kittle and Jennings, man. Or McCaffrey.
This is why I think when we're same thing with like Trey and like how the status is with Trey. It's like, damn, how did everything change after one season? It's like things changed very fast and drastic in the NFL. So I think after the season, we could see things change where we're going to see the value and the importance of Aiyuk increases. And I think at that point, it's going to be like, wow, his is more sustainable. I'm expecting another whatever season from Deebo Samuel is going to have again, the five highlight plays that are literally just his 5 of the year where he's just a threat again, because I don't think he's worth a damn as an actual wide receiver. And I think that's where it's going to be like, wow, the impact of Aiyuk is actually a thing. And whose contract's coming up around there? Maybe who are older players that are coming up in the core? Kittle, would they get rid of Kittle? I can't see that. But that's someone to put on the table. I just think if it's really you can't hold on to 2 receivers, you gotta get rid of Deebo, because Deebo's game is gonna, even if you want to keep doing it this way, his game is gonna be dead in the water in the next 2 to 3 years, where Aiyuk stays up for another 8. He's got route running. That's something that's sustainable even if you lose speed.
Yeah. Well, look, I think a better way to build a roster is to invest in offensive line and quarterback. Kyle's the opposite. He doesn't want to invest in quarterback, offensive line. He wants to invest in running backs and wide receivers and tight ends. Okay, well, if that's what you want to do, then Brandon Aiyuk is consistent. He hasn't missed a game in 2 years. It's just interesting. Is Kyle going to try to suppress his market value by, not calling his number in the red zone? You can do little stuff like that. Or will Kyle Shanahan get him paid? I mean, he got Brandon Aiyuk paid. He got Deebo Samuel paid. Next year, what if Brandon Aiyuk has an all-pro year and then waltzes into the negotiation with Prague? What are you going to say now, bud? That could happen. And in which case Brandon Aiyuk might give a little hat tip to Kyle Shanahan for setting him up, because Kyle Shanahan has gotten a lot of guys paid. Like, why did Debo and Kittle go to Cabo? Because why can they afford to go to Cabo? Because of Kyle, right? Would they be rich without Kyle? I don't know. George Kittle?
Because Debo's more of a
Debo?
specialist in terms of fit.
Yeah, Kittle was a 5th round pick too. I mean, would he have even gotten the opportunities? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
But it's funny when you think about these two things. Number one, Brandon Aiyuk's probably the third best. No, he is the third best wide receiver in that draft class he was in. And imagine that it was like CD, Judy, and then the guy who's in jail now.
T. Higgins. Oh no, but T. Higgins, he's pretty good. But he got picked after Aiyuk.
Yeah, he got picked after. Okay, you're right. Yeah, maybe. I think at this point, maybe
Jalen Reagor.
Probably better.
Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson.
Jalen Reagor, I think it was picked before him. So was Justin Jefferson.
The
right?
Eagles took Jalen Reagor.
And then you think of that. Okay, so Aiyuk's third or fourth best receiver in that draft after T. Higgins. Then you think of it, and it's like, wow. The second point is the Niners. Aiyuk's their second best first round pick that they taken. Nick Bosa, duh. Okay, easy to do. Aiyuk second, because after this, okay, you're whiffing on Trey so far. Mm-hmm. Michael Lynchy was whiffed. Kinlaw, yeah, he's probably gone after this year. Who else is they?
Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. How'd that turn out? It's been terrible. These guys suck in the first round.
Yeah, no wonder they just give away all their first round picks now. It's like, you know what? We can't. We're terrible at this.
Just start trading down. Every year. Just do that.
Or just trade your picks for proven players. So if that's the case, is it an ownership issue? The Cabo Clicks asked Tyler Cressley. It seems like it. It seems like Jed has created this family of inner circle. I feel like Kyle and John make Jed feel cool. Like, Jed's never been cool in his life. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Even when in school, he probably was the rich kid who wasn't cool. Now, like, John and Kyle, like, invite him to stuff, and they, like, let him. And Jed's like, hey, are we going to Cabo? Hey, you guys want to go out to dinner? And they're like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, it's fine. Remember he had that dinner party a few years ago, and Jed was, like, tweeting about it, and they were like,
yeah.
Can you not tell people we're at your house, man? Like,
he's probably put it on the Niners company car too, because it's like, all right, you know, the way you say he feels cool. I think he also likes that he's making the Niners feel rich, because even though they're not winning Super Bowls, they've been to one. They're hella marketable because they keep winning. So it's like the Niners are printing cash right now. They're printing. So it's like, okay, Niners company car, it's easy. What's $1 million? I mean, you guys earned me like $100 million when you're winning games, all this stuff. So it's like. It's nothing to him. Business expense, chip bonding.
Hey, if that's the case, then invite all the players and pay for it. Manny Fresh says, I missed Papa Cohn yesterday. Need it twice a week. That's the thing about Papa Cohn, though. You can't miss it. He's only once a week. Madness the Menace says, if Trey starts and stays, I like when people capitalize the first letter of every word in the sentence, because that lets you know that they're not messing around. I'm going to read it with the emphasis that he wrote it. If Trey starts and stays healthy, he could possibly make BA look good, and he could get paid, because I could see BA as a deep threat just like Danny Gray. I agree. How do you feel about that?
You're saying it like you put it in all caps.
That's true. How would you do it?
Headline.
It's true. I know. It's true. You wrote like a headline. But you're right. That's why I think.
As a deep threat. I don't know about
I wonder if BA, like, how he feels about the whole quarterback thing, how he feels about the Niners acting like Brock Purdy is a savior and Trey Lance is a disappointment. Like, I'd love to know, because he just keeps his mouth shut. George Kittle's over there being like, Brock Purdy's great, Trey Lance, like, Brandon Aiyuk's just sitting there like. So I'd love to know.
I really would love to see, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'd probably bet against it that Trey, if he does make it the regular season a starter and plays like the first 4 games and plays really well, plays really damn well. And I was like, wow, see what happens is if George Kittle and all those other guys have anything nice to say about him, like not just the typical like, oh, great game, hell of a game by Trey, but like if they actually just gloat about it and they actually just prop him up higher than what it is supposed to be, like they did for other people. That's why I think it gets interesting. What happens if he does get those 4 games and more and plays great? I would love to see that.
Official B&A Music 88 says, Jed paying for friends, shaking my damn head. Come on, bro. Pay for booty like a real adult.
What the
Here on the All 49er Show, we do not condone tricking, okay? Because it ain't tricking if you got it, but none of us got it like that, okay? So, no tricking. Pay for friends.
That's wild.
Hey, can I come? Do you remember? I have an older brother. He's 12 years older than me. So he was in college when I was 6. So on the weekends, I was always trying to make plans, but sometimes I would invite myself over to friends. I was that desperate. Hey man, what are you doing? You want to hang out? Can I come over? They'd be like, get that one on. It's like, man, I grew out of that thankfully by about 10. Jed's still doing it. Hey, we going to Cabo? You want to go to Cabo?
You buy it?
You buy it? Yeah, I guess. That's fine.